Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
We have cold beer, but only one of us right now has action on the game. And I think that's ridiculous. My name is Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall right across from me. We are the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io, your one-stop shop for all things sports betting statistics. Create your own computer models, if you will. Check out that free preview right now, StatFactory.io, and they are in the home stretch of having all that AI figured out. So they're going to have an AI feature coming very soon. So check it out right now. Get used to the website. And then when the AI feature comes, bada bing, bada boom.
It's a well-assembled big bosom lady, as I understand.
It is. They asked for our feedback. What should the sports betting AI person look like?
Yeah.
Do we want it to look like Hammer? Do we want it to look like Rob? And we both looked at each other and said, chick with big cans. And that is exactly what's coming soon. All right. So it's the biggest pop culture event on the American calendar. It's not just a sporting event. It's the biggest pop culture event, the Super Bowl. And can we just call it the Super Bowl? All of this legal stuff about having to say the big game. I hate it.
Why? When did that become a thing?
People got freaked out by trademarks a couple of years ago. And back when I worked at the casino and I was the marketing guy, we had like signage all over the place. Come in here and watch the big game. Heaven forbid you call it what it is, right?
But that's what it is.
I know. It's so stupid. No lawyer is going to kick open your door, like ICE agents looking for, people with like 18 felonies and try to drag you to Guantanamo because you called it the Super Bowl.
That's what the thing is. I don't know. What are you supposed to call it? It is what it is.
The copyright rules state that if you're talking about it in a news or sport-like way, you can call it Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
But if you're trying to make some sort of money or promote another event, or if you're on, I don't know, you have to say the big game. Bite me. We're talking about the Super Bowl. So
you don't have anything for them to take anyway.
Joke's on you. I'll write you a check. As Jeff Foxworthy once said, I thought you wanted money. All right, so the line I'm seeing here, thanks to our pals at StatFactory.io, the lowest line I see is 1.
Yeah.
Now, this is down from 1.5. It's been pretty steady, 1.5 to 1. So much money comes in on these types of events, the line doesn't fluctuate a whole lot, right? You and I could probably change the line of a MAC basketball game tonight if we wanted to. Like if we bet $1,000 on some degenerate game tonight, we could shift the line maybe.
We're the sharps.
Right. That ain't happening with the Super Bowl. So right now, Kansas City is a 1-point favorite. The over-under down a little bit, 48.5. And we'll talk about that total in just a little bit. But are you still, as we get closer and closer to the weekend, doing this little stunt, this petulant child act that you're not going to watch and you're not going to bet on it and you're not going to do anything related to the Super Bowl?
I don't know why this is such a big deal to you. Like, you act so surprised. Like, you've known me for 20 years. I mean, I'm petulant and petty and small all the time. Why is this the thing that really surprises you?
Because it feels like you're not listening to your own advice, right? If you're one of these people that feel like it's rigged for the Chiefs, and again, I'm not even saying that you're wrong. You bring some very valid arguments to the table. But if that's your belief, why would you not bet on it the same way we did that Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, where we knew it was rigged. We knew Tyson wasn't going to win that thing. Jake Paul's got more marketing to do. They put odds out. We won. We won big money on that. Why wouldn't you do the same thing here?
Here's the thing. I wouldn't do that again because now I do know it's rigged. Like that brother-brother fight. I'm not betting on that thing. There's no way I'm betting on that. That's coming up here in a month or whatever that is. And look, I am just a person of integrity. I'm a person of above reproach. And I don't want to bet on the Chiefs. I don't want to bet on the Chiefs. I don't want to I don't have to cheer for the same person Taylor Swift is cheering for. I don't want to have to celebrate when the Chiefs win. And so I've just been screwed too many times. The Frogger ref that ran
Then
backwards.
why wouldn't you bet on the Eagles then? Like, if you don't want to cheer for Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
I think it's rigged.
Okay. So this is my final offer.
And by the way, it felt good to reject your insulting food offer that you made earlier today. You want to tell everybody what you tried to do earlier today?
So on my radio program, I simply pointed out that you're a broke husband trying to provide for his family. You have very little money, very little resources, and I know this. So I provided an atmosphere of fun for you on Sunday. I'm going to have like the big, huge spread, right? We're talking pizzas, we're talking wings, all types of beers. The slushy machines are going to have booze in there. I know your wife would enjoy it. We'll have something for your young child. I think they would enjoy it. But because you're so petty, you're going to make them starve. You're probably going to feed them lunch meat sandwiches and make them watch reruns of The Office or something because you're trying to prove some point.
You know, this is so good because the reality is the only person in my house who never has anything nice is me. So this is no, you can't be bought with a couple McDonald's and Wendy's wrappers. No, I'm above that.
Okay, this is my final offer because, again, I feel like I'm Ted DiBiase. Now, for those who might not be familiar with Ted DiBiase, who is that, Rob?
He was the $1 Million Man character in the World Wrestling Federation in the late 80s and 90s.
What was his gimmick? What was his shtick?
Hey, you will be bought.
You will be
He
bought.
could buy anybody.
Money could make people do anything.
That's right.
Well, I'm not using money here. I'm using the politician that's inside of you.
Oh, man.
You are a former elected official.
That's right.
You were the self-proclaimed tax-cutting machine of your district.
That's correct.
You love your country.
I do.
I have a charity bowling event coming up, Rob.
Oh, no.
It's called Red, White, and Bowl. It's presented by Jack Daniels. If you're in the central Indiana area, you can buy tickets right now at the events page of WIBC.com. That's our radio station.
Now, it's a charity event and you got a booze sponsor. That's perfect.
And we're raising money for Hoosier veterans.
Oh, no.
We're working with 2 different charities to help those brave men and women who have served our country, who have had blood, sweat, and tears, maybe some fear, but they still looked danger in the eye and served our country. They may be down on their luck a little bit. We're raising money to help them. I am willing to put a little wager in place for our charity bowling event with you.
I see what you're doing here. This is really low of you, by the way, because you know I love charity and I love the troops, and I know where you're going with this.
If you are willing to watch and make a wager on the Super Bowl, I will buy you a bowling lane. Now, there's a catch, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you pick the team you want to bet on and root for. If you get it right, I will buy your bowling lane. If you get it wrong, you buy the lane for one of my friends and you still don't get to come.
Oh, that's a lot. All right, so I'll meet you in the middle because I'm not that rich. Here's what I'll do, okay? Because I know you got like odd numbers of people. This is really low of you, by the way.
Have you met me?
Well, because now you're basically like, okay, so if you watch the Super Bowl, you're going back on your principle. If you don't do this bet, then you're going against the troops. Like, this is really, I mean,
You had no problem going against your family, but the troops is where you draw the line.
well, they've done a lot for me. I don't think you understand. I'm the only person who suffers in my house. Everybody else gets whatever they want.
They suffer because you're in the house. Do you not understand that? This is like that old theory of if you sit down at a poker table and you look around and you don't know who the sucker is, it's you.
Yeah, I'm the sucker. All right, so here's what I'll do. I will do this bet. I will for a spot, for one spot in your bowling tournament.
Red, white, and bowl.
And you can hook me up with. There's got to be some team that'll need a extra bad bowler. All right. So I will take this bet for one spot, which I will purchase if I lose,
Okay.
and you will purchase if I win. The one spot.
Deal. So you'll be there regardless. Okay, I like this because at first I didn't think you even wanted to go. That's why I offered it to somebody else. But if you're going to be there either way, this is perfect.
Yeah, I already. I just had to make sure I got somebody to watch my kid. They frown if you just leave the kid in a crib. say I'll be back. But anyway, all right. This seems reasonable. This is wrong of you to do, but I mean, at least it's going to something good. So, all right. Well, then, and I'm going to regret this, but I'm a principled person, so I guess I'll take what the Eagles. Am I getting 1? Is that what I'm getting?
So the line is Eagles, Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 1. Now, the over-under, we'll talk about that later on, but we're talking about winner with the spread here. You can have Eagles +1, or you could go the other side.
All right,
with the Chiefs -1.
That's fine. I'll take the Eagles getting 1, and I'll just go ahead and get the cash ready for you. And I refuse to bet on the cheaters. And so I'll go down with the ship and be prepared to pay you for the cost of the spot in the bowling event.
So ultimately, I knew you could be bought. Your patriotism put you over the top. I couldn't bribe you with food, money, or even a good time with your family. But when I talk about whether or not you're a real American, that's what breaks you. You're still that politician guy deep down inside.
Can't say no to the troops.
So,
now this is not one of these like USAID type of events, right? Where it's going to end up going to like condoms in Gaza. This is actually going to go to the troops.
let the record clearly state, Rob Kendall, real American.
That's right.
And yes, we are working with a couple different charitable organizations. Operation Ride Home. This is a partnership that allows Hoosier veterans to get home for the holidays.
Great.
Maybe they don't have money for airfare. Maybe they don't have a house to live in. But this charity covers that.
Awesome.
And also Bowling for Veterans Link. Veterans who have PTSD. Veterans who might not be able to pay the rent. This is a charity that helps out with that. So 2 different awesome organizations for our charity bowling event.
I love that.
Sponsored by Jack Daniels. So I know you're going to have a good time.
Didn't you love the fact that I was like, okay, I'll do this. Who am I helping? It's the Dr. Phil charity.
So I just can't believe that you said you didn't want to cheer for the same person that Taylor Swift was cheering for.
Yeah.
But apparently you absolutely have no problem cheering for the same team this guy's rooting for.
The Eagles are so much better than the Eagles. No.
Something kind of endearing about that guy, isn't it? I mean, he's a total lefty, but there's some kind of endearing about his just total ability to just throw himself out there in front of an angry mob.
So, Rob Kendall is on the Eagles +1.
Yeah.
A lot of Eagles money coming in.
Really?
Again, 1.5 is what the line was, and it's down to 1. And with so many wagers coming in on this, for that line to move a little bit, it tells you there's Eagles money coming in.
Well, you think about it, and we said the same thing about the Bills, and this is my issue. Had the Bills not had the refs cheating against them, the Frogger ref, taking away their first down, they win that game because the team against team, the Eagles match up pretty darn well against Chiefs.
And I'm on the Eagles first half.
E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
I like first half Eagles. I think they get out to a good start. They've gotten out to really good starts in every one of their playoff games. As to where Kansas City, they kind of hit the switch when they need to.
Yeah.
Right? Give me the Eagles first half money line. The second half and the final score, I'm on a different side, though.
The refs. You're on the refs. Team refs.
I'm on the side of the refs. I'm on the side of the better quarterback. How many times have we always said, if all things are pretty equal, and I do think these teams are pretty equal, I want the better quarterback. Sometimes they're getting points, sometimes they're not. This isn't a big difference here. 1.5. I think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid as a coach, so much better than Jalen Hurts and old crying Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, it doesn't work with Reid. The Reid, so much better than The Reed. It doesn't. But I agree with you. I agree that down the stretch, when you factor in the refs, the league, Reed, Mahomes, you got to win this game in the first 3 quarters if you're the Eagles.
Right.
Because you're not, I mean, you might be able to salt the game away if you got some sort of lead, but you can't go in the fourth quarter being down.
I call this a loser in the mirror game. This is why I'm betting on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a loser in the mirror game. At the end of the game, let's say that I have bet on the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles win the game. I can look at myself in the mirror that night and go, you hitched your wagon to the best quarterback of this current generation. You hitched your wagon to a coach that's really good in the playoffs.
That's right.
Didn't happen. That's gambling. I can go to bed and I can live with myself.
Yeah.
But if I bet on the Eagles and the Chiefs win, now I've got to look at myself in the mirror and go, you took Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes. You took Nick Sirianni over Andy Reid. You deserve to lose. See, that's the type of fear that I have. I call it a loser in the mirror game. If I'm going to lose, can I sleep with myself this way or that way?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. You got everything working in your direction in terms of the jump balls are going to all go your way. The close calls are going to go your way. You got the refs going your way. The only thing I think what I got going for me is you got Saquon Barkley. You know they're not going to let him win this game.
Right.
So it goes back to your bet you made on Tuesday, the prop bet of Jalen Hurts over 200.5. I think that's a great bet because I think they're going to throw the ball a whole bunch because the Chiefs are going to have, can Jalen Hurts in quarters 1 through 3 play well enough that the Eagles can get some sort of separation.
And even if it's a pass to Saquon Barkley, this helps the Jalen Hurts prop bet.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to get our professional handicapper, Kenny Britt, in here next. We're going to get his thoughts. I have tasked him with giving us a winner, a total, and a prop bet. Okay? Let's see if Kenny Britt of KB Sports can come through for us. We've got that. Plus, I got a lot of prop bets for you. Those are on the way. We are the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io.
Back on the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io. I am Jason Hammer. That is Rob Kendall. And joining us now is a big, hairy American winning machine, whether it's horse racing or whether it's picking the Super Bowl. Nobody brings you more dubs than our pal Kenny Britt, professional handicapper, the man behind KB Sports. All right, Kenny, this is the big one. This is what we've been waiting for. Super Bowl, your pick for us.
All right, I was told to give you a pick, a total, and a prop. So I'm still on the Eagles, like we discussed last week. Money line, I'm going to take the plus 1.5.
Okay, now why are you on Eagles, by the way?
Defensively, I think they might be the best defense Kansas City's faced this year. I think Barkley's a beast. I think it's his time, and I like Philly. I like the matchups, and I love their defense. Their defense is ranked number 1 in the league. So obviously, Kansas City hasn't faced anybody, that good.
And that's fair.
So,
what's your counter argument to people like me who look at this matchup and say, you know what? I think these are actually two pretty even teams. I think Las Vegas agrees with me because the point spread is so small, so close. But it's hard to go against the better quarterback and better coach. And I think Kansas City has that.
Hands down, yeah. I mean, we've talked about Nick Sirianni all year, how much we can't stand him.
One of the most punchable faces in sports.
Exactly. But quarterback, yes. But then, after that, you look at the positions, and, I think Philly gets the check mark almost everywhere. Obviously running back, obviously receiver. Tight end, Goddard can hold his own against Kelsey, and the better defense. So, yes, better quarterback. There's no question about that. But then when you get down to all the other positions, Philly gets the check mark, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think?
Okay. I'm on the other side. I'm on Kansas City because of the fear of losing. And let me explain what I mean by this. If I pick Kansas City and they lose, I can go to bed at night. I can look myself in the mirror before I go to bed tonight going, you know what? You bet on the best quarterback of this new generation. You bet on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in a big game. It didn't happen. I can live with myself. But if I bet on the Eagles to win or cover and they get their ass kicked, now I've got to look at myself in the mirror and go, you went with Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes, you dumbass.
Yes, exactly. Well, let me turn the tables and ask you a question. If Kansas City wins this weekend, is he the best quarterback of all time?
No, that's still Brady. That's still Brady, but Mahomes is the only one that is on track to at least compete with him. Yeah, it's still Tom Brady, I think.
There's a lot of talking heads talking about that if he wins this weekend, then it needs to be discussed. So
yeah, there's always a recency bias with all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's still Tom Brady. All right, let's talk about the total here. And again, we're doing this podcast on a Thursday at noon, so there is a chance the numbers could change. And again, depending on the sports book you use, you might find a different number. Our fellow pro handicapper, fellow degenerate, David Stefanoff of Follow Never Fade, he's on the under in this game, Kenny. And depending on where you're looking, I'm seeing the number at anywhere from 48.5. Some spots have a 49.5. Where are you?
Well, it's contradictory to what I was just saying a minute ago about Philly's defense, but I like the over. I think both teams are going to put some points on the board. Again, I go back to Philly's skill positions. That was the word I was trying to get out earlier. Skill positions. Philly's skill positions they're amazing. Obviously Barkley, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Goddard. Hurts can take off and run anytime. So I like the over. Again, that's contradictory to what I was saying earlier about Philly's defense. But I think there's going to be some points scored in the Super Bowl. I really do. There's just too much talent out there on that field for there not to be a lot of scoring.
And you don't need a Wild West shootout here. 30-20, get your toes tapping. Yeah. Like if somebody gets held to 20, you could still say that was a pretty good defensive effort, but this is somewhat of a low total here.
I agree. I kind of, I've talked about it all year. I kind of make my lines before I look at them. It's kind of my handicapping process. And I had this at 51. So I had it about 2 to 3 points higher than Vegas.
Yeah, 27, 23, 30-20, anything like that. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Kind of with you. All right, everybody's got a prop bet. Even people who don't bet prop bets get a little wacky when it comes to the Super Bowl. What is your prop that you are putting your name and your hard-earned money behind?
Well, first of all, kudos. I listened to the Tuesday podcast, and you was talking about the weight of the coin on tailside.
Yes. We're talking physics, baby. Physics.
Baby, you can't go wrong, right? That was awesome. But I like Xavier Worthy. Again, like you said, shop around because the three main apps I use are FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars, and there's a 3-yard gap. FanDuel has the lowest at 54.5 yards, and I like him to go over 54.5 yards on receiving. Xavier Worthy.
All right. So if anybody wants to use you for your handicapping services, we got football wrapping up this weekend, but March Madness around the corner, NBA's going on, horse racing season. Where can they find you? Yeah,
I'm at Facebook, KB Sports on Facebook. The last 3 weeks, I've given out a play of the day on Saturday on horse racing. All three of them have won. So that's going really well. I did have another prop for you, Jason, on the Super Bowl real quick. I wanted to go over 14.5 in the second quarter, and I wanted to see your thoughts on that because you're the prop guy.
I like that. Second quarter is where teams have settled down a little bit. The nerves have worn off, and you kind of got the feel of the game a little bit. Yeah, I'm in favor with that. I like that. And what I love about these props, man, is there are so many options. If you're willing to sit down and spend the time looking at all of these. They don't have to be a premier player, right? It doesn't have to be a Kelsey prop or anything like that. It could be points in a quarter. It could be, time on the clock. They're all there for you.
Yeah, even rushing attempts, completions, every like you said, everything. But again, talking about the weight of the coin on each side is just epic. Kudos.
I neglected my fatherly duties. I was a shitty husband for about 48 hours. I was in the lab, crunching the numbers, finding out the manufacturer of the damn coin, Kenny.
Well, before we go, I have 15 seconds. I've also got an exclusive review I'm going to do this on Thursday here, even though the game isn't until Sunday. The halftime show sucked. I don't even know who it was. I don't even know who he is. It's a waste of 40 minutes. I'm going to find underwater basket weaving on TV during that time period. It sucked. It sucked for 10 years. Give me Prince. Give me Aerosmith. Give me U2. Give me Paul McCartney.
And that's why he's a winning machine right there. KB Sports. Look for him on Facebook. Kenny, have a blast watching the game, my friend, and we'll talk next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
So you're in on the over, is that right?
Yeah, man. Seeing a lot of these experts, a lot of the movers and shakers, pick the under. Our guy David Stefanoff, followneverfade.com, our pro handicapper on Tuesday, he's in on the under. But this just feels like a 27-24, 30-20 type of game. And if that's the case, our toes are tapping. That, my friends, is an over.
Over? Did you say over?
Damn right. Over is my pick on the total. All right, going to take another little break here. When we come back, get your keys, get your gum, put a little something in your drink, grab the cup holder. We're making a little roadie to the prop shop. The biggest trip to the prop shop of the year. That's happening next. We are the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io. If you missed it earlier, Rob Kendall does have a price. He can be bought. He can be paid for with the blood, sweat, and tears of the bravest men and women our country has to offer, Rob.
Yeah, you suckered me in.
You are betting on the Super Bowl. You will be watching, and some Hoosier veterans are going to be better off because of it. You're a great patriot.
Thank you. You're like Trump. You just insult me until you get what you want, and then you're like, what a great guy.
All right, everybody, grab your keys. It's time to make a little roadie down to the prop shop.
Yeah!
Get to the
Prop.
shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep on going till you hit the
Prop.
We may max out the credit card at the old prop shop today. So already, we've given you two. Tails on the coin toss.
Yep.
And I broke it down. It's all about the physics of the coin.
Yep.
Physics of the coin. And Jalen Hurts over 200.5 passing yards. Now let's move on to the rest. Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert. Over 4.5 receptions.
Ooh.
If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs defensively, all season long, they've given up a lot of yards to tight ends. And I feel like the Eagles, either for them to win or for them to rally from behind, either way, they're going to have to get somebody other than Saquon Barkley in the mix. Dallas Goedert is that guy. It's a low number, 4.5. We're going to ride the lightning, and it's kind of a fade of the KC defense against tight ends, over 4.5 receptions. Patrick Mahomes, over 23.5 completions. Now, the Chiefs' running game, it's kind of by committee. But I honestly think Patrick Mahomes is going to use those little short dink and dunk passes, maybe hit his buddy Travis Kelce a bunch of times. That's the equivalent to their running game, right? So I think Patrick Mahomes over 23.5 completions. I feel like that's a play here. We're going to go over. Whoever wins this game, they're going to have at least 27 points, I think. And if the Chiefs are doing that, Patrick Mahomes has over 23.5 completions. Now for some fun stuff here. First touchdown of the game. Jalen Hurts at plus 550.
Oh.
It's not the greatest odds. I normally like a little bit more bang for my buck there. But if the Eagles get down to the red zone, you're getting tush push.
Yep.
It's not going to be Saquon Barkley unless he breaks a 60-yard run.
Yep.
Give me tush push for the first touchdown.
You like the Eagles early in this game.
I do. I'm on Eagles first half.
And then the refs are going to come in and save you. That's how it's going to go your way.
Last touchdown, based on my script, my storyline, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
Now, he only has 2 rushing touchdowns all year, but one of them was the final touchdown of the game against Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's a broken play. Maybe it's down to the 1. Patrick Mahomes is not going to do what the Seahawks did a number of years ago and let somebody else take the football. No, he is going to run it in himself. Give me Patrick Mahomes. This is a long shot, plus 1,800.
Wow.
1,800. Now, if you want a little something else, if you're somebody that's like, that's a little ridiculous, he's only got 2 touchdowns, Xavier Worthy, running back for the Chiefs. He's got a number of final touchdowns this year. He's plus 1,000. So, honestly, you could put a little bit on both, and if one of them just scores that last touchdown,
You're making money.
You're making money.
Yep.
MVP. I'm calling this the Rob Kendall bet.
Oh, how exciting.
Travis Kelce. If you're somebody that feels like the fix is in, don't you think plus 1,600 is worth a shot?
Yeah.
If he catches 2 touchdown passes, maybe more, has close to 100 yards, they've already given Mahomes his flowers.
Yeah.
You can't tell me the network doesn't want to have that moment where they're on the podium, the confetti's coming down, here's the MVP award, Travis Kelce grabs it, he starts singing Beastie Boys, and there's his girlfriend, some pop singer, that just gives him a big kiss on camera. That's something that the network executives are taking their pants over. I think it's plus 1,600 worthy. Will there be overtime? Plus 1,200. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Oh, wow.
Plus 1,200.
You think they'd want that for the viewers? Get more viewers, longer viewers.
Perhaps. I think 24-24 into overtime.
Which would get you a cover on your over. Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
And it's plus 1,200. So a $5 bet, just a $5 would pay out $65. That's worth it to me.
Aren't you a little nervous on how many times you've been screwed by kickers this year? That like some kicker is going to do something to just ruin everything for you?
You can't kill what's already dead, Rob. I'm dead on the inside from kickers. My soul has been ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me anymore.
I love how many bets you have active in this game. It's great.
Will either team attempt a 2-point conversion? We're getting plus money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing this at Bet Rivers, plus money. I think this is one of my favorite bets. I might go big on this one, plus 105.
Oh, yeah.
2-point conversion? Hell, people do that just because they're bored now in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, think about, too, like, you get a penalty on an extra point, it moves it to the 1. You know the Eagles are doing it if they get the ball down to the 1.
Somebody misses an extra point, then you got to go for the 2 later. It's not even a conversion.
Yeah, it's just you got to go for it.
Just got to go for it.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I like that.
I've got one left. And I didn't think we would have this for a game that features the 2 best teams in the NFL. But here we are.
It's time for Hammer's Degenerate Special.
Normally, we're picking a football game from the Sun Belt, a basketball game from the Missouri Valley.
Yep.
You don't get a lot of degenerate action in the Super Bowl.
You could find it, though.
What time of day will the final play be completed?
Oh, no.
Over or under 10 o'clock, 14 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the game, does it actually start right at 6:30?
They will have an official start. It kind of depends on a few variables, right? How long is the national anthem going to be?
Right.
Is there going to be any security delays?
Right.
Things like that. How long is the halftime show going to be? Like, is it going to be a quick Kendrick Lamar show? But 10:14 seems like it's awful late for the final play. Because the networks, if you remember, the networks always want to get their crappy new programming on right after the Super Bowl.
You're right.
When it's somewhat prime time.
You're right.
I'm going 10, 14, and 59 seconds or before.
Or before. Now, the overtime, this is the problem. The overtime screws you.
It does. You're right. I've kind of hedged my bet there just a little bit.
Because if you're overtime, there's no way you're getting up by 10:14. And you're right, because I don't know. It says 6:30, start time 6:30. But is that 6:35? I mean, 5 minutes could be a big deal either way.
10, 14, 59 seconds or before. I just think the networks are going to want to get their stuff going. And again, this isn't when the end of the postgame show is. What time of day will the final play be completed?
Oh, be completed. So you got to, you could take a knee at 10, but at 10:14, but if it's 10:14 and a half, you got to run 40 seconds, you'd lose the bet.
Right. Now, if there's, 30 seconds left, the previous knee counts because there's no more plays after that.
But it's got to be complete. The play's got to be completed, not the clock run out.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. See,
Okay.
this is what we're studying up here. Whenever the final play of the game, whatever that is completed, 10 o'clock, 14 minutes, 59 seconds or less.
I like it.
That is your degenerate special.
That gives you 3 hours, 44 minutes, and 59 seconds to work with.
I'm going to be yelling at Kendrick Lamar, hurry up!
Yeah.
Play Not Like Us and hurry the hell up!
Yeah, not in the national anthem, all of those. Boy, that's a big investment on your part, but I like it.
All right, those are our picks for the Super Bowl. Man, enjoy the game. Drink, fart, eat, gamble, do all the degenerate stuff. Because we're not going to have a moment like this probably again until March Madness rolls around. For Rob Kendall, the greatest American that ever lived.
Thank you.
For our professional handicapper, Kenny Britt of KB Sports, I am Jason Hammer. Good luck, everybody, and as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.